Hello everybody and welcome to another shader craft tutorial. In this tutorial we are gonna look at this terrain shader in which you can change the water level you can change the transition, how smooth it is. You can change the water smoothness and the dirt smoothness, the water color, tiling and offset for the texture of the dirt, the wave speed and the wave size. So you can download this material as part of my material pack on the asset store and support me by buying it, or you can just follow this tutorial. So let's jump into it. First thing that we are gonna need is to create a terrain, and there is a nice plugin for Blender that is shipped with it. Go to user preferences and well, let's do that again. Let's go to user preferences, add-ons, and then just type in landscape, and this is the one, ANT landscape. So when you enable this one, and let's save the user settings, here in the create tab you can create landscape, and then you will have all these nice values to determine what's the, I don't know, the offset of the thing and so on. So just make something that you like, and then after that we need to take we need to render the normal map of this thing, right? So let's create a plane. Let's bring it here, and we will have to it'll have to be at the same x, like the size basically, and then let's open another window, enter edit mode, and just unwrap it so it will take the whole thing. And then what we need to do, if you are in cycles, then you need to go here, add a new material, and then the color is gonna be an image texture, and we need to create an image. So new, and let's multiply these by 2. Okay, and let's assign this image here, and now we can bake it by having both of them selected and this one to be the active one. And then from this menu, let's put this on GPU, let's put this one like that, and bake, selected to active, and then choose the normal and hit bake. And here you have it. This is our normal map. So what we need now is to export this terrain to our project, and we also need to save this image, save as image, and save. Let's jump back to Unity. Alright, the first thing that I am going to do directly is the normals is going to be none, because we are going to control that. Let's put that in. Let's reset this. This is -90. And it's fine that we don't see, like, it looks so weird because of the normal maps. There is no normal map on it, and every mesh has a normal map by default. So let's create shader PBR. So directly, if we create a texture and make it a property, and let's say this is normal, and make sure it's the normal and connect that to the normal. So I only added a normal map. Now let's create a material, and let's just assign this and throw this on it. And what I did also is to go to the settings and change the supported shader mode to forward only, so you'll have something that looks like this. So let's go back to the shader. What we want to do is to define a number in which the water will, like everything below will become water and everything above will stay as it is. So let's call it water level. So what we need to do next is to create a position node. Let's set it to object. You can do world and then transform that to object, but in the HT, the last time that I tried, the transformation node was not working correctly. So I'll split that and I'll create a vector 3, and you can see that my object has the z-axis as like the top facing upwards. So we are going to check in x and y as they are, and we are going to change the z. So how are we going to change it? We will connect it to a lerp to the b and connect that. We are going to use a variable called water level. This is what's going to define what's the water level. So this is going to connect to the A for the lerp, and we are going to use it here. Let's create a smooth step, and the input is going to be the Z. The edges are, or the edge, the edge is the water level, and the other one is going to be the water level plus how smooth the transition is going to be. So this other variable water transition, add edge and connect this one to the T of the lerp. And let's save that. Let's take a look at this. So the water level, if you raise it, it's gonna be all flat. And you can see, if you play with this value, obviously you shouldn't go for the minus, we are gonna fix that later. It's going to have a bigger smoothness. You will see that even later. So the first thing that we noticed is that this should be a slider between 1 and maybe like 3 or something. We will check that later. The other thing is the output of this smooth step is going to define all our lerps, right? So let's, for example, let's do it for the normal map so that the water does not have any normal map. So we are going to do lerp between this texture. I guess this is going to be here, and blue, because that's what flat normal map is, and this is for the T, and connect that instead. And let's check that out. This looks kind of right, so let's decrease the transition. And for some unknown reason, I'll have to multiply the x of the normal map by -1 before putting it in the lerp. And then we can even do the same for the smoothness. So let's create another lerp and connect this one here. And it's, let's say the smoothness of the water is 1 and the other parts is 0. Let's drop that in. And let's save that. That did the opposite, so this is going to be 0 and this is 1. Let's save. So this is, yep. So I added this planar reflection probe, just increased the sizes. I'm not sure what does these things do exactly, but yeah. So you can see now we have, oops, a nice reflection. Let's get these to the top so that you can even see the bottom of it. Looks quite good. So we are going to do the same for almost everything. So let's create two values, water smoothness, which is a slider between 0 and 1, and let's make another one called dirt. Oops, dirt smoothness. Slider between 0 and 1. Let's connect them here. And let's create a texture for the dirt. Let's just put anything, and a color for the water. It's going to be blue. And we are going to do the same. So let's bring these here. Let's duplicate the lerp. Let's get this guy, and let's throw in the dirt texture. Input texture sample. Throw that in the 0, and throw the color in here, and use that for the albedo. Let's save that. Now we have colors, so let's select this dude. I guess I'm gonna add some tiling. The smoothness of the water is 1. So now you can see this controls this, and the smoothness of the dirt can go something like this. Alright, we might want to change the metallicness as well. I'm not going to do that, you already know how to do it. But what I am going to do, so I'm going to change that manually. Just put something like 0.2 for both of them. And then what we are still missing, so you can obviously create a vector 4 and call it dirt tiling and offset default 1, throw it in here, split it, make 2 vector 3s out of it. Oops. Connect them to a tiling and offset node. This is offset, and connect that to the UV of the texture. So now we can go for 5, 5, and you'll have your tiling. Alright, what is next is to, let me show you the smoothness of the transition. It looks like this. You obviously don't want to go for 0, so it's like melting stuff. Alright, so let's create some waves. The first thing is this blue here is for the water, right? So we don't want it to be purely flat, but rather wavy. So let's create a noise. I guess we need the gradient noise. And let's go for normal from height, and let's use that instead of the blue. And what we can actually do is to do 2 kind of waves and just add them. And we will need 2 types of tiling and offset. Not 2 types, but 2 nodes. Connect this one here. Create a time node. Let's create a water waves speed. A slider. Let's make it 5. Let's throw it in. Let's multiply this by that. It doesn't matter of the order. Create a vector 2, sorry. Connect this one to the X only. You can actually go for both. Or make it like multiply this by, I don't know, half. So on the Y it's going to be half the speed. And let's duplicate these. Oops. Connect this one here. But to have a different value for the noise at the same value of the time, what I'm going to do is just to add any value you want to the time before you supply it to anything. Let's connect the same speed, and we don't have anything moving here because our default value for the speed is 0, so this is how that thing looks like. I think what I want to do also is to multiply this by -1 so that the other one moves the opposite way of the first, like these two. And let's make it actually even slower, so let's go for 0.75. Alright, oops, 0.50. Oh, I don't know why did that happen. So let's check that out. Alright, this is huge, right? So let's call this wave size, slider between 10 and, I don't know, 100. Let's throw it in and just connect it to the size or the scale of both the gradient noises. So if we increase that, we'll have this, and we will have to go with much lower speed. Okay, so that's only on the normal map. So let's do that for the actual position of the mesh. Oops. So this is going to be used also for here. So this guy is the actual water level, right? And what we can do is to add the same noise to the water level and use it in here. My guess is this will need to be multiplied by some ridiculously low value. So when I connected the multiply and then add for the noise with this thing instead of this thing, the shader broke down, and so I just updated the HD render pipeline to the latest one. Right now it's 4.9, and that fixed the problem. I also have this as 0.1, so let's save that. And this obviously looks ridiculous, so what you need to do is to replace all the connections of water level with this one. So this one, and this happens sometimes, I don't know why, so I just connect it to a preview node, and I connect the preview node instead of that one because of, I don't know why. So we can use the preview node for, or we can't, I don't know. Alright, so let's save that. And now we have something nice and jiggly. You can, oh, nice. I'm not sure what's going on with my Unity, but this shouldn't happen, and I tested that before and it didn't happen. So if you change the water level, pretty cool. You can have a different effect of these waves by, instead of adding these two, multiplying them. So you can multiply this by that and use this instead for both the normal map and the height stuff. Yeah, and then they won't add, but rather they will like intersect. So whichever you like. You can also check for how high is the water, and if it is higher than something, then you make it white, or towards the white color, which will show the waves more, but I'm not gonna do that. So I fixed these weird faces by converting back in the settings to the deferred only. I guess the deferred was broken in 4.1, so now it's 4.9, it's working great. So that's for that. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a nice Unity experience.